Well, the problem is here, it's a female cow. I don't know how you'd milk a male cow. If you know what I wouldn't want to milk you. If the rumours are true. Yes. Munster, he's going to have the biggest game of his life. I have no doubt that he's going out to absolutely shoot the lights out.
Ben Hunt's got the ball and he's running towards the line. This will be the confirmed try-scoring win for Queensland. Queensland have done it again. Sucked in all you Blue supporters.
It's Freddy and the Eighth. Here's the stars of the show, Brad Freddy Fittler and the eighth immortal of rugby league, Andrew John. Please welcome your host, Danica Mason.
Freddy and the Eighth, we have certainly hit the big time, that's for sure. Another episode proudly brought to you by Sportsbet. Who would have known? So many fans in the house.
It's happened quick. Have a look at this down the front row. St Dominic's people. This is Nathan Cleary's country. How good.
Yeah.
Did Freddie went to this school? Did he actually go?
Rather not talk about it. Bad memories.
Oh, well, we've got a fantastic show coming up for not only everyone here in studio, but for everyone at home as well. Of course, we do have an Origin preview. The countdown, it is well and truly on. 24 hours to go now until the decider at Accor Stadium. We've also got some special guests on. Karl Stefanovic, he's joining us in the studio. The Turbos, so we've got Jake and Tom, they're coming in as well, and then we've got some very special guests from the NFL, some Las Vegas Raiders as well, so what a show.
How good. The bloke at the back, actually, his brother played for the Roosters, Lamatasi, so he's going over to Las Vegas, yeah. He's a monster. Massive.
We should
take him on later.
Yeah, all right. A little bit of a challenge.
We'll see.
All right, well, there's plenty happening around the grounds at the moment. Of course, our Freddy and the Eighth long lunch competition, it's well and truly heating up. So there are plenty more entries as well. So we might take a look at a few of them. So the challenge is to send in your best photo of where you're watching Freddy and the Eighth from. So we've got a gentleman here who's at a rave watching Freddy and the Eighth.
Yeah. Eating Tic Tacs.
I think this one's all the way from Mongolia.
Where's this at?
Mongolia.
I saw this bloke with some seals.
He's got a nice jersey.
Yeah.
A couple of Freddie's old girlfriends.
St Dom's days.
St Dom's days.
Looks like Jackson Hastings.
In the jersey, though?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. All right, State of Origin, we cannot wait for that. But first of all, I want to get a shot of someone else, another professional sporting superstar, Nick White for the Wallabies. He was wearing some very interesting budgie smugglers.
I wonder does he fill them out as good as the Eighth?
Look where his skateboard is.
Look at that skateboard's right up his collar. Very good. Well, he's played in Newcastle. That was a test match against Fiji.
Fiji, they just won that one.
Very good.
Narrowly.
Nick's from up the valley. Is he from
Wouldn't know.
Scone or he's from up the valley?
Yeah, okay.
So good old boy. Yeah, does anyone know where Nick White's from? Rugby union player? Muswellbrook.
There you go.
Just made that up.
Yeah. So well done, Nick. I'll send you a couple more.
Have you seen anyone else wearing your budgie smugglers?
Let's
I could go
move
somewhere,
on.
but I'll just leave that alone,
Move on,
Joel
Danica.
Garner.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about State of Origin, of course. This is the match that we've all been looking forward to so much this year. What, 24 hours out? How are we all feeling about it? Are you confident in New South Wales? Are you worried about Queensland?
As it gets closer, I always get more nervous. I always start really confident, and then, I think, the Cameron Munster stuff, that sort of, got everyone shocked. So early on it was New South Wales, a few injuries, but I believe they're all playing. But it's going to be a great night. It's sold out. Can't get a ticket anywhere. So I think these two teams are so well balanced at the moment. The fact Papali'i comes in. The centres for Queensland, I'd be nervous because they're very new to it. So
Especially
that's where
strike.
Yeah, we need to go there. We need to get the ball wide. So if we can do that, then I can see us winning.
Very nervous. Very, very nervous.
You
Coming into a side, yeah. Very nervous.
What about the news that we heard this week about Cameron Munster? Obviously devastating for him and his family following the passing of his father, Stephen. He has rejoined the Maroons in camp today. He was out at a course stating for their captain's run this afternoon. I mean, you can't even just imagine what he's going through at the moment, but what a resilient young man.
Well, we know with Munster, he's a character, and sometimes with Munster, I reckon he gets bored, even when he's playing. But if in Origin 2, when he was coming out of the tunnel in Perth, he's wearing that number 6 jersey for Queensland, which is as famous as it gets. But also as captain, he had that head on. And sometimes with someone like Munster, if they have a why, and he's representing not only Queensland, but his father, Stephen, who would have loved Queensland, but also the king, you know, going back, people of the age of Cameron's dad, they would have just absolutely worshipped the king. So Munster, he's going to have the biggest game of his life. I have no doubt that he's going out to absolutely shoot the lights out, which is terrifying.
I think you saw the reaction as well in game 2. All the stuff around Billy, and Billy got very emotional and had some addresses to the media, and you saw the way they reacted. Early on in the game, they were all over New South Wales. They were a completely different team to game 1. And like Joey said, when he's got a why, when he wants to prove someone wrong, he just comes up with things you don't see before. He ran more times than any other Queenslander, ran for more metres than any other Queenslander. He's just got that ability to take the game by the throat. And, we need to make him work. Like, we need to get Liam Martin at him and be aggressive with him and get him into the game and, make it really challenging for him.
Before we talk a bit about New South Wales, the other one for Queensland, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Josh Papali'i. How do you think they'll use him? Will he play sort of a really high-impact role, but just a short-impact role to start?
15 minutes, 20 minutes of carnage. Him and Tino will go that hard at Payne. I've no doubt they've been together all week and they're talking about Payne Haas and saying, me and you, let's take him on. And I reckon the younger players who are now playing with him, well, they're just like, I'm playing with one of the greats, so they'll lift. I think it's a masterstroke from Billy, and he will bring so much intimidation and aggression, but him and Tino are going to tee off.
We see what they're doing in Canberra. Like, Tapane is very similar to Tino. They're very similar presence, and the way they play, they're pretty wild. They get around the field, setting up tries, scoring tries, and Josh Papali'i plays that other role. He's just really solid straight through the middle. I thought they were going to pick him in game 2. I thought he held off in game 2, and they ended up having that great win in Perth. But I think he'll be a massive bonus for the team.
What about New South Wales? Nathan Cleary, we spoke about this morning, you and I, Freddie. Do you think this is going to be the biggest game of his entire career?
So far, I don't know. Grand finals are pretty huge, but I think it's a big time for Nathan. We spoke about Munster. We know what Munster's going to bring. So, Nathan's our architect. He'll do a lot of the kicking in general play now. We've seen him. He didn't do hardly any in Perth, but since then with Penrith, he has. And I have no doubt that he's going to have an absolute huge game.
Yeah, he brings all the other blokes into play and the way they kicked. I looked at all the stats. He did a little bit of kicking. He kicked one out in the full. And the thing was, I looked at Stephen Crichton and Liam Martin. They didn't do much tackling. Well, this is one of the real big parts of New South Wales' game and was part of Penrith, where they get down there very aggressive, kick chase. Yeah. Very aggressive, and they just win the field position that way. And Nathan didn't do that. Like, he kicked less in game 2, but he didn't kick as well. So he did against Canterbury when he came back and played, and then he had a big break in between that game and this game. So he'll be right to go. And they'll get all their rhythm back, I reckon. And that's what they missed. They look really clumsy in game 2.
How do you think the groin actually is? Do you think he's still struggling through the pain of it?
You're asking us.
You've got your finger on the pulse.
Finger on what? We've both had, 2 years I carried mine for. You were the same. It can come and go. You can feel good for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, for no reason, you can't get out of bed in the morning. But he's managing it.
I reckon he'd be looking after himself a bit better than we did.
How did you manage it?
Well, I always thought 15 schooners used to be really good. And the full strength stuff, none of that mid-strength rubbish.
And it helped or hindered?
Well, I thought it helped at the time, but it was terrible looking back. But what do you do? It
Made you
tastes
feel
good.
better.
Makes you feel better and tastes good. Cruel have your own mother to get one. Actually, is there a fridge here somewhere? Uncle Joey would like to have one now.
They used to talk about bourbon and cokes and ice from the inside. That was how we used to ice in the old days.
So, which
The days before mobile phones and social media.
What an
Thank
era.
God we played when we did.
How long generally do you think your career would have lasted if you were playing in the era of mobile phones?
Probably about 3.5 weeks.
You would have adapted. You had to. What else are you going to do? What would you have been if you weren't a footy player?
What are they making number plates in Cessnock Jail? Well, I had all my friends in Cessnock Jail.
Big fans of the show?
Yeah, big fans.
Love it.
All right, so we're 24 hours out from State of Origin. What would the players be doing? What would they be going through? What would be going through their minds?
Oh, it's punishing. The last 24 hours is punishing. And then tomorrow is punishing because you get up, and especially if you're an early riser, if you're up at 6:30, you got 12, 13 hours to kill, and then you're worried about burning energy, and I could never sleep during the
No,
day.
the sleep's a killer. The sleep the night before, trying to go to bed's hard. You're thinking a lot. You've got a lot going on in your mind. So we used to try to hang out as much as possible to as late as possible, get yourself tired. And then, yeah, day games so long. Because in the old days, there was never 8 o'clock games. Everything was 7:30. That was your latest start. But now it's like 8, 10. It's a long, long day.
Could you sleep in the
During the
arvo?
day, I used to just close up and we couldn't sleep it. Blankets over.
What about...
There's an art to it. There's an art. And the younger players, some can like fizz up and play their game before they get there. Someone like Shibasaki, he'll have to be careful because he'll play the game over 10 times during the day. So if you're on debut, it can be incredibly difficult.
We used to stay at Coogee. So we used to get a bus sometimes from Coogee. Like you'd have the police would be leading you all the way and it'd take you an hour and a half. Like it'd be in peak hour traffic. It was I can't believe we did that. It was a nightmare. Just sitting there for an hour and a half in the bus. And
Watching a police academy.
Well, they have actually changed this year how they're going to be arriving at the stadium, the Blues. So what we've seen over the past few years is walking through the tunnel from the Centre of Excellence, and you walk around and there's all these things on the art on the walls and everything. But they're actually changing it up this year. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it was a reaction to Joseph Suoli last year. He came out in the first 5 minutes and just necked that bloke, Reece Walsh, nearly killed him. And I think Laurie feels like it sort of pumped him up a bit much. And so we started doing it. I'm not sure what year we started, but we started doing it. I loved it. I actually followed the team out, and here's Jake Trbojevic. We'll talk about this later with him. But I used to follow the team out. And because on the other side, where you're training at the New South Wales Centre of Excellence, it's so silent. Like there's no one there, only a few fans, and it was quiet. You just had on your own. Then you walk out there and all of a sudden it's just crazy. The energy's immense. And I remember walking out, it took me like 10 minutes to get my head around it and I wasn't even playing. It's fair, it's
That
so
looked
good.
really cool.
It's good.
That would have been
I don't know
so
why they're
good
not
to
doing
do.
it. They should make it. Like our game, we sometimes, because the coaches are so, Loz is a conservative bloke. Sometimes you've got to take it out of the coach's hands. Like, we're in the entertainment business. I just watch what Canterbury are doing at the moment, and some of the clubs are really trying to get invested. I think America are the masters at it, sport and entertainment. And we actually got it off an idea from one of the American college football teams. And they go from this big space and come into this narrow chute, and all the players go from about 5 wide and then just sort of shoot out. And it looks unreal, and the crowd just go mad. So, I think sometimes, the coaches, they want to win. They have to win. But entertainment.
Yeah, that's it, with the business of entertainment. And we want to give it to the fans as well. That's, they all pay a good price to go and see it, so we want to put on a show for them.
Absolutely.
Speaking of putting on a show, we're just getting warmed up here on Freddy the Eighth. We've got a huge show coming your way, so here's a little sneak peek of what's ahead.
Don't go anywhere. The Today Show's Karl Stefanovic, he joins the team next. The Turbo brothers are around the corner, and much more of the usual Freddy and the Eighth madness.
Mate, you can't say his name.
It's 4 tackles down. The clock's nearly expired. The Blues, can they pull something out? Crichton steps inside. Crichton can't get past Carrigan. He's made a stack of big tackles in this series. Now Cleary. Oh, Ben Hunt! It's been pitched by Ben Hunt. Go, Dozer! Hunt racing away upfield. Go! Ben Hunt. He goes for the corner. Go! Ben Hunt wins the Origin for Queensland. What a moment in Origin history. Ben Hunt has raced away.
What a player. What an effort it's been. It does not get any better.
We will see this over and over again. It is another classic moment in Origin history.
What a moment that one was for plenty of Queensland fans, including this one next to me. He's just joined us on the couch, Karl Stefanovic. What about Cameron Smith's commentary in that?
He doesn't get hate. How biased was he?
Dozer.
What are you talking about?
I get hammered for being biased.
I'm the only Queenslander on the panel.
Mate, you're born in Darlinghurst.
Mate, you can't
I
use
was
that.
born in Darlinghurst.
Do you know what I feel like? You know that TikTok thing where a gorilla takes on 100 people? Righto, let's go. One at a time, come on.
Good to have you
Gorilla
join.
taking on 100 people.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Bit too modern for you, TikTok. Big fella.
Exactly,
It must
other
have produced great anxiety for you being in front of all these people.
Oh, no, I'm a man of the people.
Well, do you know what? Actually, looking back on that try, that was the infamous night at Suncorp Stadium.
Oh, that's where I threw the toys out and
Yep.
sooked, carried on like a peanut.
You do a bit of
Anyway,
You wore your heart on your sleeve, I think it's fair to say.
and my lungs and my pancreas and my prostate.
your pancreas.
Yeah.
It's not
Well, it's
unusual.
gone. It's gone. I've gone through 3 of those.
Good to have you on the couch
Thank
here,
you, nice
Karl.
to be here. So late.
Yeah, I know. What a career you've had at Channel 9.
thanks.
We often talk about things outside of footy on the show. How many years now have you been here at the network?
I've been 25 at the network, but this is my 20th year at the Today Show. So it's a lot of early morning. Thank
So that's 20 years of no sleep.
you. 20 years of no sleep. I can pretty much go a couple of years without sleeping at all.
Not your own.
And you and I together is, there we are. That was some great memories back in the day, doing the weather in Rockhampton. There was a naked guy behind me. It's just what happens in Queensland. That's how we get prepared.
So you're wearing the maroon.
Yeah.
You're from North Queensland.
So I grew up on the outskirts of Brizzy, a place called Capalaba, which was kind of semi-rural at the time. They had a drive in there, and that was about it. And then I finished high school in Cairns. So
For us New South Welshmen, what does the Origin team mean to Queenslanders?
So I remember, it's difficult to say enough what it means, because when you're a kid growing up in Queensland, 5, 6 years of age, you sit down and you watch Origin, it's really transformative. It's like Wally Lewis is the king, right? Because back in the day, you didn't really have anyone else to look up to. Alan Border was the guy in cricket. Wally Lewis was the guy in rugby league, because what Wally Lewis said to you was, like, all these great players from New South Wales, would come up. They had all the profiles, they had all the show, and Wally Lewis gave us the impression that we could take on the world from Queensland. And as a young kid, it was so inspirational. And that is, to me, that was one of the greatest moments of my life. So you can't underestimate the influence it had, not just from a rugby league perspective, but from a life perspective. And yeah, it's in your blood from that age. I remember going to one of these games it took me about an hour and a half to get to the game. You go to Leighton Park and it was on like Donkey Kong. There were like crowds in the outer, because Dad was a cheap ass and we had bad seats. And everyone would take, a hip flask of Bundaberg rum and an 800 pack of Horizons and just get stuck into it. And that was just the kids. I mean, it was that kind of thing. And you felt like this was, your family who were playing Origin. It was in your blood. There's no doubt about it.
But if you hear of anyone in the world that does anything, achieves anything, and they're from Queensland,
Yeah.
They don't get referred to as an Australian. They always get referred as a Queenslander.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't matter if they're from New South Wales or Victoria. You don't hear it about other states, but always, if they're a Queenslander, they're referred to as a Queenslander. Why?
I think it's part of the identity. You can come from anywhere. You can come from a country town. You can come from parts of the city, but this is something that sets you aside and something that you can look up to and go, you know what, I can achieve anything. I can come from any family situation. I can come from a broken family, but if I play sport, if I try and work hard and trying to achieve something, Origin showed you that you could do anything. So it was transformative for a lot of us.
What about the modern term?
I think the first Origin this year was awful for us.
In what? Other than the score, what was awful about it?
I felt like that we didn't show up, and that's the multitude of reasons why. But I didn't see the spirit that we're known for. I'd rather us give all of ourselves and lose than to not show up. But the second game was interesting because I thought Billy being under the pump and all the hoopla about all of that, I wanted to see how they'd respond and whether they'd do it for Billy, and it really was that. And I started to see that spirit again. And now we've had this last couple of weeks. Cameron Munster is, he's, as you said before, he's a bit of a joker. He likes to joke around. Sometimes he gets bored, and that's for sure. But I've never seen him so committed than this year. And during that game in Perth, it was unbelievable how he switched gears. And for me, he's had lost his dad. It's where life crosses over with rugby league. And I don't know how that's going to play out. You guys are professional sports people, and I was only an athlete for a couple of years. But I do think, what are you laughing at? But I do think that you don't know how that's going to swing in his head and for the team, and also for New South Wales. I think this is why Origin is so good. Because there are dramas that are created along the way, but then there's just the natural drama of it that's so much better than anything else. So whatever happens tomorrow night, whatever is the next chapter, it will work its way into folklore and work its way into the hearts of every Queensland kid and every New South Wales kid, no matter where they are. And they could all be looking up going, God, I can do anything with my life, because most of these guys come from, all of that. That's what it means.
You talked about being an athlete. Did you play footy? What did you do growing up?
Soccer.
I
got a Wog name. What do you expect?
Say the surname.
I've got a hairy back and a Wog name.
Serbian background?
My grandfather's Serbian, and my grandmother was German on Dad's side. And they came out after the Second World War. My grandfather was a prisoner of war in Germany, captured by the Germans, and then they couldn't stay in Germany after the war. They became displaced, as a lot of immigrant families were. So they got in a boat and came out to Wollongong. They went into an immigration camp there for, I think it was more than a year. Built their own house in Wollongong, Bellambi, and here we are, a generation later. So, and Dad was always into his soccer, but come, he really adapted and adopted rugby league. He loved it. We used to go see, Wally Lewis play for Wynnum Manly, and they had that, that great. So they had Gene Miles, and Wally playing together, and it was
Greg
just
Kineski, did he play for them?
and they were just halcyon days. And Wynnum Manly on you, if you got a playing card with Wynnum Manly on it, it was like. That was it. And a couple of years later, I had the fortune of seeing Wally in person, right? I was working for Channel 9 in Brizzy. And you got to know, this is your absolute idol. Walks into the newsroom, and I'm tapping away on a story, and I'm looking at the computer, and Wally looks up, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's the king.
It's the king.
And Lane Calcott is a great correspondent for Nine back in the day. He just goes, don't look at him, he doesn't like it. But Wally couldn't have been nicer, and for me it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. So that's what it means to you. And I think for a long time it felt like New South Wales didn't have that spirit. I think New South Wales has got that spirit now. There's no question about that through people like you guys and Danica, who's in my ear every day.
Every morning.
It's no. I don't think there's any difference now in that. but we look for the spirit come Origin time, and I get so nervous. Like, I have to put myself away with a succulent Chinese meal and just watch it and watch the game on my own.
Well, you're going to be watching tomorrow night as well, so we thought we'd do a little preview, and we're going to get you to commentate a try. So we're going to get you to commentate that try that we saw from Ben Hunt 2022. So, just to put Joey back to
doing it his arms.
Yeah, Joey's been in the gym.
Have you?
That's what happens when you carry Newcastle for so long.
Think about a comeback? Yeah. All right, here we go.
So here we go. This is your best rabs. So let's play
No.
All right, let's hit it. Here we go.
Now. Here we go, Cleary. Here it clicks. Oh!
Sound like you're on.
Ben Hunt's got the ball and he's running towards the line. This will be the confirmed try-scoring win for Queensland. Queensland have done it again. Sucked in all you Blues supporters.
That was good. That was good.
Very
We'll
good.
wait for a call up next year.
that was pretty good.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the couch. Always great insight as always, and see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
No, I'm planning on staying here. Just
You going?
Yeah, tomorrow night. You going?
I'll tell you what. This is terrible, right?
Mate, come and sit on the sideline.
No, I can't stand it. Like, I really can't.
nervous.
I get so tense. You know what I mean? And I've got to be close to the fridge in order to get myself through. But look, have a great game. I think the NRL has been terrific this year, and this Origin series is going to be an absolute belter tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Well,
Thanks
there
for
you
coming
go. You'll be at home, Wide World of Sports, right across the screen, enjoying
That's
every
it.
single second of it.
Cuddle.
All right, well, as these two cuddle it out, stick around. We've got the Turbos who will be joining us on the couch next. We've got Ben and Jake in the house. That's all coming up straight after the break. That was great to see. And you know what else is great to see? Our guests. We've got Jake and Trbojevic. Welcome to the couch. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Now, we're on bye week. What's the plan for bye week?
We've got a few days off, actually, which is nice. And it's, it's nice that we've come off a win this bye, so you can enjoy it a little bit more.
What's it like, obviously, tomorrow night, watching on Six of Origin? You both been there. A bit different, sitting at home watching?
Well, I'm a lot more nervous. I'm not as nervous as I am now, but when I'm actually watching the game, very nervous. So we're still, proud New South Welshman, so we'll be watching it on the couch tomorrow night.
Jake is the current shield holder.
Yeah.
That come from his house. He brought it with him.
Brought it in for the
Where
for
do you
the show.
keep it? Next to the bed?
That's it, mate.
He has to drop it at the stadium tomorrow night, unfortunately, but he's still got that for one more night, so you'll sleep
take
with it
it.
well tonight.
Cuddle it.
We were talking about walking out through the tunnel. Tell us about what it was like being captain, walking out through the tunnel.
Yeah, well, when we first did it in 2019, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. But then, last year as captain, I wasn't really expecting to be captain. I think I was wigging out a bit. I found it was a lot, right?
You wig it out.
Why were you wigging out?
Well, I wasn't expecting to be captain. I don't really captain Manly.
What the atmosphere and the smoke?
Well, I think I was wigging out the fact that I was actually captain, right?
Yeah.
So that I was
Being first.
so nervous to start with. Then I was first, and then I was worried no one was following me, and it was a long walk, right? So
You're a treasure, Jake. You are a national treasure.
it was a lot for me. So I think it's good they've gone. I know we talk about entertainment business, but I think for performance, it's good they've gone back to back over, keep it normal, keep people with their routines. For players who like to go out in the field before the game, it's not a 500-metre walk. They can stick to what they normally do. And as we sort of said in the break, you miss that atmosphere. As you said, you warm over there, it's quiet, and then you run out to the stadium, and it just hits you in the face. And we've actually missed the start the last few times at Homebush, not just the Suwali one.
Do you reckon because of
Look at him. Make sure you're with me.
No, do you reckon we missed the start because of this?
Well, it's hard to blame one thing, but definitely it's very you're warming up on a field, which is not normal.
Yeah.
It's quiet, you would thoughts. But when you warm up in the stadium, it's very loud, energetic, and whatnot. So.
It might be coincidence, but
So when you two boys debut, you remember how hard it was. Gurmit, never pronounced it right. Shibasaki. How do you reckon he'd be feeling right now?
Well, if he was anything like me, he'd be shitting himself.
So you were shitting yourself?
Oh, yeah. Mate,
doesn't even matter if it's a debut. I was doing that last year.
Yeah, I've never been so nervous for a game of footy.
What, the night before?
Night before.
Yeah.
What was your first year?
Melbourne. It was your
18?
first game. Yeah.
2018.
I still remember
Great win.
running out, and I was looking around and going, What am I doing here?
I'm glad you tell me now. Imagine if you had told me then.
What about Jakey when you debuted?
Yeah, it was 2017. It was actually up in Suncorp. Laurie was coach, actually. We won 28-4, and it was... I've never been so nervous. I get nervous for everything. I get nervous for Manly game, but this was like nothing before. And as you said, the 8 o'clock games kill me.
Getting through the day.
It kills you, right? And this game, I don't know if it was the longest balling play I've ever seen, but after about 5 minutes, I was done. It was just the nervous energy just takes it out of you. Yeah.
So what were you more nervous for, your Origin debut or being captain for New South Wales?
Oh, definitely your Origin debut, yeah, but the captaincy thing definitely was very nervous.
So if you were nervous walking out of the tunnel when you were captain, what was the conversation like when you were told that you were captain?
Yeah, I didn't really believe it. No, I didn't. And then...
What did you say?
I said, oh... Madge says, I said, oh, really? Honestly. And then I was walking with my wife, Alex, and she said I went white. Like, I was literally went white, couldn't believe it. I was literally just hoping to get in the team that day. I thought that was the sort of just hoping I got the call to be in the team, and then got the call I was captain, and it was... obviously, one of the greatest experiences of my life last year. It was amazing getting that win up in Suncorp, but at the first, very unexpected, yeah.
I remember talking to their mum when you played for Australia, and I said, oh, they must be so excited with Cameron Smith and JT playing. He goes, no, Aaron Woods and Clem and all the New South Wales players. And that's when I realised, like, these blokes, you know, New South Wales blood, it's in their blood. So it's always
So, Turbo, we look at our edges. The left, we've got Latrell, Stephen Crichton on the right. How do we get the ball to him?
Oh, I think like the more the ball's in play, the more there's no stoppages. I think the better we'll go. I think like look at the first half of last game. That stop-start doesn't really play into our favour, and I think the more we keep ball in play, we're going to build field position, and then Cleary comes in the game, and you'll get the ball to players like Latrell and Crichton, and I think can really hurt him.
Papali'i, what difference will he make to Queensland?
Oh, I think a lot. He'll give him confidence. He's obviously very experienced, big physical presence. So he's obviously brings that, and he's played a lot of Origin, So I think they'll get a lot of confidence from that. But I'm just really excited for him. I think we've got a great forward pack. It's going to be a great battle, and being out there at Homebush, I think it's just a great chance for the boys to go out and put in a great performance. Something to remember.
Now, Clubland, you boys off contract at the end of next year.
Yes.
Would you ever think about living on the beach in Newcastle? I could get you some get-out-of-jail-free cards. Yeah. Actually, I'll probably use all those up.
They're done.
How are you finding the shift from fullback to centre? A few more tackles each week?
A few more tackles, yep. Shoulders a bit sore, but no, enjoying it's a different challenge, obviously, to playing fullback. So I had a couple of weeks of it, but I'm enjoying it. Different.
You're disappointed you never played fullback for New South Wales? Because I know I am. I would have loved you to see him play fullback for New South Wales. Is there any disappointment there?
Oh, look, I've obviously played 10 games for New South Wales, and I haven't really thought of it as a thing that I'm disappointed I haven't done it. So,
mate, I told you could do what you want. What else do you want?
I just said I wasn't disappointed.
I'm glad.
I'm disappointed no one coached me other than Freddy, and that's what I'm disappointed about.
How many tries? Is this 3 tries that night?
I think it was 3. I lost count. No, I'm joking.
I've got to say, like, what did I do, 6 years? That was the best performance I'd seen because of the weather and just the way the team moved the ball and some of the tries. You're coming from right, you scored most of your tries through the middle or left.
What was that,
Townsville had to be hard to beat too.
Townsville
50. Yeah, that was 50. That was pretty good.
That was good.
But that Perth game, I remember, it was pouring wet. Similar conditions to the last game.
Yeah.
We won 38-6. It was a bloody great night.
Yeah, it was.
All right, Jakey, you were, imagine you're captain tomorrow night. You're just about to run out, not walking across the...
Don't stress him out.
Getting nervous.
You know, the 2-minute bell goes. Boop, 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 boop. What are you saying to your team?
Oh, you just want them to back themselves. They've got so much talent there, you know what I mean? As Tom said, ball in play, they've got to be confident, Just go out, back yourselves and just don't miss the start of this game.
Yeah.
There's so many great players out there, so many good people. We just want to see them go out there and get the job done and do themselves proud.
It's inspiring.
Good. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go now, yeah. All right, we'll
falling asleep. Fire us up, Jake.
Well, you know what? We'll fire you up. We're going to dive into our Sportsbet having a crack moment because this one came from your match on Sunday afternoon at Rookie. DCE, his post-try celebration. We're in the midst of Try July. And this one with the walking stick. Here he goes.
Jake told me it's from carrying that money he's got in his mouth.
No, I thought it was from the back spasm in round 2.
Oh, you've been telling me about Father Time for the last month.
Yeah, don't you start.
We've been driving him mad.
How can you still play NRL at 37? Well, halfbacks don't get hit these days.
Saves his body.
now.
All right, well, our other having a crack moment this week, we saw in the NRLW another interesting try celebration. Up the milk. Did you see this one?
Oh, God.
Jake?
I missed it. I missed it.
Thoughts, Jake?
I missed that
Didn't know watch it.
Andrew?
Well, the problem
What
is
time
there,
is it?
it's a female cow. I don't know how you'd milk a male cow. If you know what I wouldn't want to milk you. If the rumours are true.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to let these two recover for a moment as well.
Oh, God.
Sportsbet also have a new YouTube channel as well, so make sure you go on and check it out. They've got plenty to offer up there as well. But stick around because we've got plenty more coming up right here on the show as well. We're lucky enough, we're going to be joined by 2 NFL superstars from the Las Vegas Raiders. They'll be joining us on the couch very shortly. But right now, let's get a market update from Joel Kane.
Try July is here, and these guys are expected to have a huge July. You can click on the July Hub to see who scores the most tries in July. Of course, you need to factor in buys, but $5,000 thanks to Sportsbet goes to the Australian Skin Cancer Foundation and the Player Hardship Fund. So many celebrations, may they happen.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Welcome back to Freddy and the Eighth. Everyone is fired up here in studio at the moment, and we are fired up as well because we are lucky enough to be joined by 2 very famous people next to us. From all the way from the US, we've got Jackson Power Johnson from the Las Vegas Raiders. And then we've got a homegrown Larky Tarsi, who you've been into the NFL draft, and so you're heading over to do a pre-season with the Las Vegas Raiders. Is that correct? Yep. How exciting. So what are we doing here in Australia at the moment?
I mean, we're doing a lot of things. I mean, going to the Origin game, super exciting. And then just kind of going around promoting football and showing this big guy off to everybody. So, yeah.
So you grew up in Queensland.
Yep.
And then you've got the opportunity you've come through the NFL Academy here in Australia. Mm-hmm. And then what's that journey been like for you?
It was crazy. Like, I recently just quit my job just to do morning trainings over there because I couldn't do afternoon. Like, I'll be hella tired after work. So I quit my job, went to Gold Coast, just keep going every day, and then, just try my luck. So yeah.
It's a huge time of year for rugby league. How much rugby league, or did you know anything about it, or have you seen anything about rugby league?
So I've seen it kind of online. This will be my first match day tomorrow. So going to the best one for my first, for sure. Yeah. But no, I've always kind of liked to see it because it's so physical. I mean, it's so close to football. I mean, honestly, I think it's tougher. Like, you guys aren't wearing pads like I am, so you guys are just killing each other. I love it.
So the last 2 years we've played some games over there. Have you heard anything about that while you're in Las Vegas? We went over in February for the last 2 years and played not exhibition games, 2 club games. You didn't hear anything?
So we heard quite a bit about it, and I think we got free tickets for it, but I wasn't in town. But I think after this I'm going to go to as much as possible because honestly, it's like we got to go over to the stadium. It's so cool, the history of the game and kind of the rivalry. You kind of love to see it. So.
And you grew up in Brisbane.
Yeah.
You're obviously fellow Queensland.
Yep.
Who's your hero?
I'd say Israel Folau.
Israel?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the man.
He was a gun, wasn't he?
Wasn't he a gun?
What an athlete.
You've got ties to rugby league, though, because you've had brothers who have played it.
Yep.
So who are your brothers and
so
where
I
do
had
they
an
play?
older brother, Lamatasi. He started playing for Sydney Roosters. But he started from Manly and then went up to Sydney Roosters to play first grade, and then went up to Broncos, and then now he travelled to UK to do Super League. But now he's just back home, enjoying his retirement. So My other brother, Talatasi, he tried out for the New South Wales Cup for the Bears and then had a one game with the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So, yeah, that was just the experience with our family. And I had another one, Raymond, played for St. George, and Gully, playing for Dolphins, Finifayaki, so, yeah.
Yeah, right. So you've got quite the ties.
Yeah. So, well, you blokes are big. So you're saying you're 140 kilo, 145?
Yeah.
And you're about 160?
Yeah.
So what?
Can we stand up just because you're also too, your height is unbelievable. So Joey, stand up in the middle.
I just gotta stand up. It's like small, medium, large.
Joey, give us your hand size.
Yeah, give me the hands.
Oh.
It's not true. It's not true what they say about small hands too or small feet. Let me tell you.
So what weight will you play at? Is that what you'll play at, 160?
Yeah.
That's your weight?
Yeah. Yep.
What sort of training is it? Like a lot of our training obviously is fitness training and we're getting up and down all the time. What sort of training do you do?
It's more kind of strength conditioning. You know, got to be super strong to move big people like this guy.
So what do you bench?
I don't know what it is in kilos because
Pounds?
Pounds, but the best I've ever done was 575 pounds.
500.
Yeah.
So you're talking like 200 versus about 200 odd.
Yeah, I got to move big guys like that, and then whole lot of squatting and.
What do you squat? What would you squat?
The best I've ever done back squat was around 800 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's about 362 kilos.
Yep.
Jordan Mailata, who played lower grades at the South Sydney. How's he going over there?
Oh, he's killing it. Yeah.
He's doing absolutely amazing. I mean, he's really kind of taken over as one of the best linemen in the NFL. So it's really cool to see, and everyone loves him.
Because that's your position, isn't it? Same position?
Well, he's in the tackle. I'm in the guard. So.
Right.
Yeah. And you were saying for such a big man, he's light on his feet.
No, super quick. It's like really freaky to see how big he is and how he can move so great. So, yeah.
There's a lot of Samoans and Tongans in the NFL?
Quite a few. Yeah, you get quite well.
Could you see more moving forward?
Yes, I can see more. Like especially
so big and athletic.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to continue watching your journey, but we'll have to get you over to come to the games when we are over in Vegas as well.
Well, the boys are carrying the trophy out tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Well, then we'll get you maybe sidelined for the NRL games in Las Vegas as well. So we're no doubt plenty of people getting their tickets already as well. So tickets are on sale. So if you're tuning in at home, you can buy yours. And yeah, we can't wait. Maybe we'll have to do a mid-season dash over and watch some NFL games. There you go.
So you take us out?
I'll take you guys out.
Las Vegas?
I'll take you to the casinos. We'll have a good time.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Honestly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Stick around, plenty more coming up on the show right after this.
Josie Bath here, Olympic snowboarder. Just wanted to wish Laurie Daly and his Blues all the best for the deciding game. Go the Blues!
Hey everyone, Bree Walker here, pilot of the Australian bobsleigh team, and I just want to wish Billy Slater and the Maroons the best of luck for the State of Origin. Let's go Queensland, bring it home.
Well, there you go, plenty of support from our Winter Olympians. We cannot wait for the Winter Olympics. The countdown, that is certainly on that February next year. But it is now time to get your tips, your margins and your players of the match. So you can see all our experts, they have locked them in. Freddie, start us off with yours.
All right, I'm going Nathan Clear. I think he'll have a blinder. I thought it was great against the Dogs when he rebounded off the game 2 at Perth. And just seen him kick again, taking control of his team. I think if he does that early in the game, I think that'll steer us in the right direction. And he's a bit like Munster. When he wants to have a go, he runs a lot of metres, so I expect him to be busy, man of the match.
Yeah, I got New South Wales by 10. I think if we get it right. I just think we've got too much strike. If we get an even share of possession and the rub of the green with the penalties, and I think Payne Haas is going to explode. I think he's going to have a big one. He'll know that Josh Papali'i is coming for him. Him and Tino go at it, so I reckon Big Payne's about to explode.
There you go. What do you think of all the other experts? So we've got Gal agrees with you, Joey. He also thinks New South Wales by 10. And obviously you've got Cam Smith and Darren Lockyer. They're narrow scorelines.
Well, he's got a massive job. He'll be running at Dearden, Crichton, so he's got a big job. They didn't do much of that in Perth. They didn't put much pressure on the halves at all. Lockie, they love Dearden. You know, I remember speaking to Darren Lockyer years ago, and he wasn't doing much at Brisbane. He's just come of age so much. He's such a competitor. And, of course, Cam Munster. Like, you know, what he's going through at the moment, no one will ever know, but he's such a competitor. And you just know he won't give up.
Yeah, well, there you go. There are our expert tips for tomorrow night. Stick around, though, because we're going to be back to wrap it all up on the other side of this. Just a reminder as well, all the action from Wimbledon continues right after Freddy the Eighth tonight. Looking forward to this. Arena Sabalenka she'll be in action. Also to Carlos Alcaraz. There's been so much excitement happening over at Wimbledon already, so make sure you tune into that one, but also to State of Origin tomorrow night. We're going to finish off with who's it a big week for?
Big week, Laurie Daly. I think Loz is... He's a great fella, great player, and I think, you know, he's got a great footy team here, so I can't wait to see how they go tomorrow for him.
I think Nathan's going to have a huge game. Big week for Nathan Cleary.
There you go. What a moment for him as well. What a moment for him as well.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
All right, well, don't forget, you can watch all the action from the State of Origin decider right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports, exclusive, live and free. Thanks so much for joining us here, and thanks so much to our crowd here. It has been a fantastic night.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.